Now, the Royal British Legion has opened a new pop-in centre in Birmingham. The shop in New Street was officially launched by veterans themselves.
It's one of 16 new high street shops being opened across the UK as part of what leaders are calling their biggest transformation in 93 years. Lucy Capassi reports.
Well known for their poppy appeal and remembrance services, the Royal British Legion have had a presence in our communities for decades. But their work goes beyond that, and the charity says for many, accessing that support hasn't always been easy. It's now hoped the opening of 16 new pop-in centres across the country will help.
Anybody can drop in, whether you're a member of the public, whether you're serving, ex-service, partners, families, everybody can sort of drop in. It's a whole range of different help really. It's people finding out some information about what we do, or it could be people who really do need our help, so it could be support with grants.
Former serviceman Clive Smith from Cannock helped launch the opening of one in Birmingham city centre. He lost both his legs in an explosion in Afghanistan 4 years ago. He says the charity has helped him get his life back on track.
The Legion's helped me massively with obviously their battleback centre mainly in Lillishall. So that's helped me get back into sport and things like that. But obviously the centre here is a fantastic achievement that obviously it can be here to help anyone with any problems they've got on a day-to-day basis.
The help available varies from grants to practical support and advice.
My dad was in a daycare centre just one day a week. We were having a particularly difficult time with him because he got diagnosed with dementia. And an Admiral nurse just approached us and said, "I'm here to help you." And I think it's just known that there is somebody there that can help, because we were desperate, and when they came along it's like a weight has been lifted from your shoulders.
It's the first time in 93 years that the Royal British Legion will have a permanent presence on the high street, and it's hoped it will encourage more people to pop in. Lucy Capassi for ITV News.
Now, the national and international news is just a few moments away. Alistair Stewart has the headlines tonight.
The language of defiance and revenge against Islamic State. With the British hostage now under threat, ministers call them murderous psychopaths and warn every option is now on the table. And President Obama, en route to the NATO summit in Wales, says their brutality won't intimidate America, but stiffen her resolve. We're at the summit and examine the options for an international response. And we're in Spain as Asher King's parents are freed and go to his bedside in a hospital in Malaga. Our science editor explores the next steps in his treatment. Join Charlene White and me at 6:30.
Former England cricketer Phil Tufnell has launched his first art exhibition at a gallery in Birmingham. There are 10 paintings in the collection, which he's called The Cat, in honour of his nickname during his playing days.
Well, nicknamed The Cat when I played, and I fancied doing some artwork. You know, it's the only O-level I've got, and I fancied doing something. I've always wanted to do it, so I put it all together. I was looking for a bit of inspiration. I was nicknamed The Cat, so what a great place to start.
Who would have thought it? I never knew he was an artist, did you?
No idea.
Right, then moving on, here's an adventure that'll stand the test of time. The tall ship Lord Nelson is on her way back to the UK on the last leg of her 2-year, 50,000-mile voyage around the world. 1,000 sailors of all ages and all abilities, able-bodied and disabled people, have taken part in the biggest challenge ever tackled by the Jubilee Sailing Trust.
Our reporter Richard Jones has been in Canada meeting the men and women who are bringing her home, and among them is James Whale from Stoke-on-Trent, who was aboard when she left the UK in October 2012.
The 50 people going aboard the Lord Nelson in Halifax, Nova Scotia, have the privilege and the responsibility of making sure she gets home safe after almost 2 years at sea. Ahead is a month-long crossing of the Atlantic to London. It'll be the end of an epic adventure that's taken her to 30 countries on all 7 continents.
I've been at sea all my life, and it's a huge achievements have got this far, and so I think for those people who've never sailed before to actually see the landfall at the end of their voyage, you know, that really is something. And it's not just the fact that they see it, they know that they have played a true part in sailing the ship there.
The ship left her home port in October 2012, and aboard was James Whale, setting out on the adventure of a lifetime. He's been part of the crew on many of the legs around the world and has been to Brazil, the Far East, Australia and the Caribbean. Now he's getting ready for the final voyage back home. He says his experiences have changed him.
I had a fear of flying, before. I didn't like going very far on an airplane, and because of, obviously, we're sailing around the world and going to these places, right? I know, but Rio was 10 hours, Singapore's 15 hours, so that has made me get over my fear of flying a lot.
Spending so long at sea has taken its toll on a ship that's now almost 30 years old. She has been regularly maintained, but the crew have faced a constant battle against wind, rain and high seas. So before she leaves Canada, sails have to be mended and hoisted back up onto the yards. There are repairs to be done, and the paintwork needs attention.
Nellie's a tough old bird. She's done well. Obviously we have had some damage to rig or sails. That's something we can fix. But she has been in the extremes of temperature from the tropics to Antarctica, and you know, we'll need to give her some TLC when we get back home. But she's a sturdy ship and stood up well to it.
Also on board are experienced sailors and people making their first ocean crossing on a tall ship. Jess House is 16 and has just finished her GCSEs.
I'm most looking forward to getting out to sea and experiencing what it's like to be on a ship which has no land around it whatsoever. So the whole horizon, 360 degrees, is just sea horizon.
This voyage for me, taking the ship back to the UK, back to London, is actually a bit of personal pride. I've been with the Trust, sailing with the Trust for so many years, and there's a little bit of me on here, and I just want to make sure she gets home in one piece.
All will push themselves to the limits, accept challenges and meet them. They'll also learn about themselves and about the people around them.
People who are able-bodied who come on here, it's the first time they've been in close contact with quite a wide variety of different disabilities, and they find it quite enlightening, and they leave the ship with a totally different attitude to the disabled.
The final 3,000-mile voyage back across the Atlantic ends on September the 19th, when the Lord Nelson will sail up the Thames and under Tower Bridge to be welcomed home. Richard Jones, ITV News, Halifax, Canada.
Really?
Amazing.
Trip of a lifetime. Your sort of thing?
Oh, I'm not sure about that. You like it though, don't
Oh,
you?
I'd absolutely love it, yeah.
Yeah, it'd be
and
brilliant.
the great bonus is you get rid of me for a couple of years.
Yeah, that would be great. No. We'd miss you, Bob. We would.
Anyway, back on land now, and it's a momentous day for staff at the Library of Birmingham because they're celebrating a very successful 12 months since the opening, a year to the day.
Yeah, I remember that well. Janelle went along earlier to hear about the exciting celebrations for today and beyond.
I'm here at the Library of Birmingham, where the brave Malala opened its doors to the public just a year ago, and they've had some pretty impressive stats since then. 2.7 million visitors, 316,000 books, music and film items borrowed, and they've been nominated for the most prestigious prize in architecture. Not bad for year one, and I've got the director with me, Brian Gambles, to tell me a bit more about it. How do you feel the first year's gone?
I think the one word that sums it up for me is pride. I just feel so proud of what everybody involved in the Library of Birmingham has achieved. I think we've really shown that public libraries have got a great future, and I also think we've done a lot of good for the city of Birmingham.
And what does the next 12 months hold?
Well, chapter 1, first few months was really exciting, and what we've now got to do is write a really impressive chapter 2. You should watch out for some great events coming up between now and Christmas, and then 2015, that's going to be a big year for us as well.
Now I'm here in the Secret Garden, absolutely stunning views of the city, and your weather forecast for what's going on in the next couple of days is coming up right now. Hello, well, the patchy cloud that we were expecting this afternoon wasn't as patchy as we first thought, but there has been some blue sky beginning to peep through. And we also want to say thank you to Tony Watson for this picture from Baddesley Clinton of some beautiful flowers on a day a bit like today. But as we go towards the weekend, well, there's a weather front that's moving its way southwards, and that's going to be bringing with it some rain. But actually, by the time it reaches us here in the West Midlands, that should be quite patchy and disorganised. But let's look at tonight. Well, tonight's weather, it is going to be another cloudy night to come. But once again, we are expecting that cloud to be patchy. That means that there will be some clear spells up above, but where it does become cloudy, well, the cloud could lower, possibly seeing some hill fog and a few misty patches as we go into tomorrow morning. It is a cloudy start to the day tomorrow, but we're also expecting to see a few brighter spells in the morning too. A bit of a similar day to today, and as we get into the afternoon properly, well, we're looking at highs of around 21 Celsius, so it should feel fairly pleasant tomorrow, especially when we get a few more sunny spells, and that's going to be in the afternoon. So it's looking like a fairly pleasant day tomorrow before we get to the change at the weekend. But for the rest of the weekend, well, by Friday we are expecting it to be a bit cloudier. Saturday, the odd spot of rain, but on Sunday, well, we should see some brighter spells. But for tonight, we are expecting it to be cloudy with some clear patches and a mild night to come.
And that just gives us time for a quick look at tonight's top stories on ITV News Central. Parents of pupils at a school in the Black Country say they're furious after their children were sent home for wearing the wrong shoes. Up to 100 youngsters were barred from starting the new term, which began yesterday, after the head teacher enforced tough new uniform rules. The school says it gave parents plenty of notice about the changes.
A former soldier from Bloxwich has been jailed for 7 years for stashing hundreds of weapons and explosives in her cottage in the Black Country. Police were tipped off by airport customs officers who intercepted a parcel containing gun parts.
And a cancer charity in Derbyshire, which has offered to pay the full cost of proton beam treatment for 5-year-old Asher King, say his family have accepted the offer.
So that is about it from us, but the good news is Bob will be back with the late news at what time?
At 10 to 11 tonight. Look forward to seeing you then. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.